You look in the mirror, there's your biggest problem right there. You're trading against yourself. Your doubt, your excitement, your emotions.
Introducing Jude. He blew a funded account in under an hour by trading when there was no trade. That moment taught him a brutal lesson, knowing when not to trade.
You pay a few $100s, you can buy a challenge, and they'll give you $100,000 to invest with. And that, to me, sounded like ludicrous.
Today, I have a special guest, Jude Dempsey, who is an actual trader from Ola Prime. And what we're doing today is an actual interview. It's going to be more like a personal interview that basically is just like to share his experience, not only with Ola Prime itself, but also with trading, so that basically you get an idea as to how like the industry does work, especially for beginners, but more importantly, how trading and Ola Prime actually gets combined, and an actual user from Ola Prime, besides myself, because I'm the only one talking on my videos, but besides myself, someone else can actually share his experience. So today we have Jude Dempsey. Jude, you want to say something about yourself?
Yeah. Hi, Christian. Thanks for having me. Yeah. So I've got an IT background. I've always been sort of trading stocks and different things in my spare time. But as of, I don't know, I'd say last year, I really started getting more into full-time trading. And that's when I started the prop firm with Ola Adventure. So it seemed a little crazy when my buddy who's been doing it for a long time, actually, he's been featured on Ola Prime's feed. He's, like these guys, if you pay a few $100s, you can buy a challenge, and they'll give you $100,000 to invest with. And that, to me, sounded like ludicrous. Of course, there's rules. It's not like they just give you $100,000 in a suitcase and say, on your way with it, obviously. But, after sort of getting to know people, watching videos from people like yourself, and really sort of learning about how this whole world works, I got intrigued by it. And I don't know what 25 whole challenges later, here I am.
All right, that's actually, yeah, as a matter of fact, with the niche, we can call it the prop firms niche, there was a lot of hype like 2 years ago when people didn't really understand what this was all about, and probably they bought like 25, 50 challenges all the time, thinking that it could be just like a one step away from being a millionaire, which you probably already know it's not the case. Obviously, it's an amazing tool, like to make money, like to leverage pretty much a small amount of money.
Yeah.
But it got its rules. You already said it got its rules, and it's literally, like they call it, it's a challenge. And not just to reach the profit, but to also be consistent, because they do have this consistency rule, which I actually found it like to be the most important rule of all. Like, if you ask me, the reason why is because I can't have a lucky day where I make 10 grand and then all of the other days I made like $100, and then another great day with a 10 grand. And like those 10 grand days don't tell me that you're a good trader. It just tells me that you were lucky that day, and that your consistency average trading profits is this. And I actually, like, I don't know, I found it like a very fair rule, if you ask me. Like, I'm
consistency is
with my subscribers.
It's like it's really another word for discipline. Can you regulate your behavior, and can you just try to stay within a risk defined parameter? Because it is true. I mean, these firms, I've made money off them, and I've lost challenges, and they maybe lost money on me. So it's a two-way street, and consistency is not a problem for me. Like, it just means you really just got to control your stop loss and your take profit, and keep it within a narrow channel. And it forces you to find an edge in that world. And that's really what I think successful traders have. We talk about edge. An edge is just another word for system, or having a discipline. Really, the person you're trading against is you.
Yeah.
You look in the mirror, and there's your biggest problem right there. You're trading against yourself all the time. Your doubt, your excitement, your emotions. oh my God, I'm up 500. Woo! Like and then down 1,000, the world's ending. Like it's an emotional game that you really have to check yourself and recognize, hey, this is, at the end of the day, I tell myself I spent some money on this challenge. If it doesn't go my way, it doesn't go my way. I'm going to work harder. I journal and everything I do, and I keep notes, and tell myself, yeah, I didn't wait for the setup. I rushed into the trade. I closed it too early, like things like that. Like it's just, you have to it's about you and and sort of modulating your behavior and regulating your irrational tendencies, which we have, which are human. We're humans. The market doesn't care about us or how we feel or if we're having a good day or a bad day. Like it goes. And, there'll be swings that, I had a day last in December where literally I caught gold on a thing, and it was a $6,000 trade. It started off as a very small little thing, but I held, I wanted to cash out, and I just kept saying, no, let's just wait, let it go. We're in the money. And I literally had to like walk away from the computer. I actually had to I actually went to the gym.
Yeah.
And I came back, and I set my stop loss, and I did it, so I knew either way I was gonna get like 2 or 3 grand. I'm like, I'm not gonna lose that.
Ignore it.
Yeah. And I come back and I'm like, what the hell is this? So it's funny though, that was not unfortunately a whole challenge. And the firm, they nailed me. They said that I went outside the consistency rule, so I could only do 3 grand. So the other 3 I made on that trade didn't go anywhere. But
it's still there. It's still there.
It's still there. And it's still, it felt good. But those things happen, and it. If you're patient, you really, I think what I've learned is when not to trade is really the most important. Stop, the mistakes I made early. I mean, I blew a funded account in literally 1 hour, because you work all that time, you go through, I did a 2-step, it was all this stuff, but I was trying to make another trade. Like I just traded it before and got through the challenge, and then I got the account, right? So you're like, okay, day's going great, and I tried to make a challenge. I tried to make a trade when there really wasn't one to be had.
Yeah, chasing trades pretty much like, yeah.
Christian, man.
When did you start trading? Like how long ago?
Oh my God. Like specifically prop firm trading or trading?
Trading overall, like Forex,
I've been
futures.
Yeah, a while. Casually. I had full-time jobs, so it was just something I would kind of just play about with. I had Ninja Trader, and I just do some simple stuff, and I liked it. I thought it was, I was just enjoying that aspect, but I really, I took more time to kind of study traders and behaviors, read, books on everything. Like you really got to, you got to surround yourself with people who have been in the game for a while. And that was my friend, I'll mention his name, Cole. He is a master trader, and he just took the time to walk me through setups, risk reward, everything that he would do. And that really gave me a lot of help in this thing. And I think maybe you would agree with this. We're always learning. Like the process never ends.
Like literally today, as you were speaking, I remember like literally this morning, I actually lost 2 trades. I usually lose 1 trade and that's it. Like I don't continue trading after losing one. But today I was like, okay, I think I lost this trade because of this, my mistake. It's not the market's fault. So I'm just going to re-enter on this one. And I lost it again. And it had been a while because the strategy that I use is a breakout strategy. So it's usually pretty accurate. And it had been a while since I lost like 2 in a row. And I'm like, okay, what is it? But like, I don't recognize myself this morning specifically. So it happens. Like it's going to continue happening and learning. It like this never ends. Like there's always something new or something.
I had the same morning you did. And I literally just went out and shoveled all the snow. We have like 10 inches of snow right now coming down. But I'm just like, if I look at this again, I'm going to try and make another trade. And sometimes it works. Like I've come back after a drawdown, and brought myself back, and, and you think, okay, I can do this again right now. But like, you have to recognize, I know the triggers that I have to watch out for and sort of be mindful for it, and it's like, don't get emotional, don't revenge trade, don't chase, you know.
And I was gonna say the worst thing is that sometimes it does work. So because it worked
Oh yeah.
once,
Yeah. Yeah.
then you think it could work again, and it's probably gonna work 1 out of 10, and then you actually got the one that worked, and then you missed three, four, and that's when revenge trading actually comes into place.
I will, like last week, I had 4 accounts I got through phase 1 and 2. I literally was just a trading animal. And this week, not so good. It's just, like I should have, I really, I should have just rested on the success of that. It's okay. I haven't done any damage, but it's just like, sometimes there's going to be days, there's going to be weeks, there's going to be months, where things go your way and don't go your way. But, it's again, you got to find your inner discipline. You got to find, and rest and think about, put some time in there, do some practice trades. Don't always do some things, so definitely it's a lot of don'ts I find, but the do's are watching people like yourself. Like honestly, it's very helpful to have. Well, it's just you're out there, you're doing this for real. It's and and I watch a lot of different YouTube channels with live trading, and it's great just to see how they see it, how they see the market, and after a while you can kind of, again, you'll develop something that works for you, because what works for them or for you isn't going to work for me necessarily. My style may be different.
Exactly. Yeah. I usually I stream every day. Like when I trade, I stream every day. And sometimes I do see people losing money with the exact same entries I had. And I'm like, how did that even happen? But like you said, it's just something that works for me. And I don't know. Obviously, we're talking about a lot of people, different experience levels and so on. But usually the key is onto finding something that already works and just do it. Like you don't have to invent yourself. You don't want to, you don't have to create the next big thing in Forex. Like if this already works, just use it. I always tell my audience that when trading becomes boring, obviously when you're making profits, when trading becomes boring, that's when you become an actual day trader. And it is actually true. Like when you don't find that excitement of thinking like, am I gonna get this great trade? Like there are no great trades. There are trades. That's it. Sometimes it goes in the direction. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And it gets boring. Like sometimes, like nowadays, it's been for a year now actually since I've been trading from like 8 a.m. to like 9:30 a.m. and that's it. And for the rest of the entire day, I had nothing to do. And that's when you realize that you're okay. I'm actually settled down as a day trader, but it's okay. I mean, if you're profitable, of course.
Yep.
But there's a lot of work behind it. And most people would actually try to trade even 24 hours a day until they find like what works for them,
Yeah.
But to
That's
me,
dangerous,
it's easier
though,
just to find what someone else is doing and it's working. And I'll just go ahead and do the same thing. I don't need to discover that. Somebody else already did,
Yeah. Like you're probably looking at the 15-minute open and you're looking at a structure that tells you, kind of giving you some trajectory and some signals.
Yeah.
And that takes time because you've been there every day doing this for a long time. Now, a person that wants to trade all the time, it's different because they're going to, there's not anything particular. Maybe they have some systems, but they may have one or two things that work in this market for this instrument. It might not work for that market at this time. Like, it's good to try to like just hone yourself in on one thing that, that works well for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, Jude, that you lost like 25 accounts already in prop firms?
Something no way. I've lost. Let's get my spreadsheet up here. Oh my God, this is embarrassing.
Because not embarrassing. Look, this is motivating actually for people. Because there's a lot of people who probably lost like 5 accounts right now, and they feel like I'm never gonna make it.
I wish I could go back to when I lost 5 accounts. So I have.
Yeah, I'm like you lost 5 accoons. Like you're just.
I've done 51 challenges.
51 challenges.
And I have of that, I've managed to fund 50. No, I've gotten 33% were funded accounts that I got earnings on. So I've failed so far of those 37. And I've got 400,000 right now in active funding right now. Actually about to get another funded account. So, and I have probably a 50% return on funded accounts. So I can get all the way there, and it can also go wrong for me. Like it's just there's no telling, but I'm making money, which, not like any, I again, I'm not doing any crazy risks. I'm not, but yeah, it's if I'm successful 36% of the time, I'm doing great. I'm doing actually incredibly well. And that to people say, well, how is that even possible? Well, it's because really, if you have like three funded accounts or three accounts and one gets funded and pays out, it will pay you for the other three,
Yeah.
basically, is the way you got to look at it. Now, I'm not saying that's that's going to happen for everybody, but I started with just small accounts, just very small, very small trades, trying to make those small wins. And then, I gradually sort of scaled up right now till I've got, a few more. I bought two Holas this morning because they had a deal on right now. So that's the other thing. Look out for those 50% off deals. I mean, my God, you
You
got
keep
to
it
take,
stacking accounts.
yeah. So, but yeah, and it's, I think particularly lately, I've been fortunate, I think, because, we've seen a lot of action in gold, which I've been favoring. It seems to be, if you're in a trade long enough, it seems almost like you can do well enough, but again, there's a lot more to it. I'm not getting into the technicals.
Yeah.
That's Christian's purview. You can follow him.
Thank you. What would you say then? Is it possible to make money with a funded account?
Of course. Oh yeah. No, absolutely. I've
So
got,
there you
I don't
go.
know, right now.
So it's like 37 accounts for anyone who's watching this and has not lost 37 accounts. I mean, you're still in the game, you know? And
I'm
I'm
still in the game.
100% sure that there's someone out there who has over 100 lost accounts and he's making money
A friend of mine, he lost. I'm not getting kid you here. He lost 35 accounts in a row.
in a row.
Got him in a row. And now it just, I don't know. He just was not, he just kept doing them. But now he's incredible. He's doing really well. He just, again, he figured his edge out. He slowed things down. He changed his attitude about things. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's doing really well.
And I'm not saying you have to like lose all of the accounts. All I'm saying is that it's not the end of the world. Like it's just like part of it. Like it's part of it. Like it's not a must, but it's a possibility that you're gonna lose a bunch of accounts before you actually can make it and can find the actual trigger. I think that's like the point. That there's a moment when you like, I don't know, you experience something that changes what you've been doing for a long time. It's not
Yeah.
it's not, like that Facebook movie when you just create something, you become a billionaire, but it's something that shows you, okay, this is what I've been doing wrong. And you only change that and all of your results have started to change. And it's like clearly something that I deal a lot with like new traders, like brand new, like they don't know what a pip is. They don't know what a buy is. They don't even know what buy limits, buy stop, like they get confused. So if you're in that stage, there's a long road ahead, like long. But what's after that long road, it's pretty much freedom. That's why I always tell people, like, I don't do this because of money. I do it because of freedom. But freedom comes with the money. If you don't have the money, you're never going to be free. So like what's ahead of that road, like what's after those 50, 75 lost accounts, it's freedom. And it's a matter of how bad you want to get there. Because a lot of people will actually stop at 5 lost accounts and they're like, this is not for me, or 10 lost accounts. And the coolest thing in regards to these prop firms is that the rules that they give you are rules that you're supposed to have for yourself. Like if you don't get a prop firm, if you're watching this for fun, you're not interested in a prop firm, you're just going to trade with your account, use the rules that they give you and apply it to your account. And you're going to be doing really, really good. Because those
They
rules
want you to
are
succeed.
basically to protect you. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's like, I've, again, and you got to be careful. I've had funded accounts. I'm not going to lie to you. I had one that was up 9K and I took it down to Zippo because I got greedy. I just kept stacking it and thinking, oh God, I gotta have such a big payday. But really, I should have just at 5% now. That's where I basically I put the brakes on. I'm like, okay, I'm up 3%. That's good.
Yeah.
We'll take another swing at it. But like it's like a sport. If you only got up to the plate 10 times and you're wondering why you can't hit a home run, you're not putting the time in. And it's not that you have to, maybe that means go back to demo accounts, go back to small accounts, just keep going. Like you have to keep the practice going. The thing I'll say though is when you have a demo account, you don't have any emotions to it because there's no tie to it. So you could trade, you could pick two lots and let it run for an hour and be like a hero, but you would never do that with a real money account because the trade could go bad very quickly. So it does help to actually to do this on the live.
I've actually mentioned this a lot of times in my channel, and it's like you need a trade demo only to like get familiar with the system, like with the actual software. But to trade, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do in there. You can turn 100,000 into $10 million on a demo account. That's not going to happen in your real account. So what you need to do in order to start, getting some knowledge is to trade in real money and start losing money. It's non-negotiable. So the demo account is just to figure out, the system. I wanted to also
look at your challenges.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but look at your challenges almost like lessons. You're paying 200 or whatever it is, or $100 or whatever you paid for a lesson. You're buying an actual teaching instrument.
Yeah.
And you're either going to study hard and follow a system and develop a technique that works for you, or you're just gonna walk in and just do whatever and flunk it. It's there's only there's never, like you mentioned it earlier, there's no bad trades. It's true. There are no bad trades. It's you with a bad setup or not taking the time or a misread or just happenstance. The market can just turn on a dime on you. We watch it happen all the time where it's like,
you can have all the criteria and sometimes just the market is not going to do what you want them to do. That's it.
Yeah. I watched the market go up for an hour or two and I'm like, okay, fine, I'm going to buy. As soon as I buy, it goes down.
So I wanted to ask you, what was like your biggest mistake? The one that you remember, not once, obviously, but the one that probably you consider like, this is the biggest mistake that I was making.
Overtrading. It's simple. I had the funded account, I had money in it, and I just tried to be a hero and tried to stack more. And, I should have just stopped trading. I think, the pros, sometimes they won't trade at all. Like you can see, they'll go days. No, I don't see a setup. I don't see it, and that's an incredible thing to do because, you want to make money. You want to trade. You want to grow your account, and that's normal.
Really hard thing to do. Yeah, really hard thing to do is to, not to trade. Especially me with the people, because like in the Signals group, I live stream. And when I'm live streaming and I'm not seeing anything and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to trade, half of people are like, man, I'm paying for signals. The other half of people is like, okay, we trust you, don't worry. And I'm like, you got to understand that the easiest thing to do is to actually trade. Like that's what we want. And that's, we are like fighting against us not to trade. It's not that we don't want to. It's like, it's the hardest thing. It's like addiction or whatever, And
but it's, totally.
Now that you like are a profitable trader, you can rely on what you used to do before. How do you overcome your emotions? Because it's probably what kept you over trading in the past.
Well, I look at my journal, like I make a note when I did something wrong and I'm, you journal, you follow it, you read it over again. You look at yesterday, you look at last week, just see where you went wrong. It's really again, it's you're trading against yourself. That's the only thing that you have to overcome is really your tendencies that put you in positions where you're going to lose, and to me that, I just have a journal every day. I recorded all my trades. I come back, I'll even look at a setup and try to figure out, okay, where could I have done? What did I see? What did I think I saw here that was not the case? That open close candle wick wasn't, the indicator I thought I saw wasn't exactly what I was looking at. So things like that.
And let me ask you this, because obviously when we lose a trade, we all know the feeling. We all know the emotion. It's like we all know it. But when let's say you're targeting $1,000 on every single trade, like consistency, and you make in one trade, like you mentioned before, $6,000, $7,000, like 5 to 10 more than you usually do. What's that emotion like? Is that emotion,
Oh,
how can I put it? Is that emotion positive? Like, obviously it's a good emotion, but is it positive for you trading?
no, not at all. I recognize I got lucky. I was, the setup just kept going my way in such a way that, I had, in that case, that trade you talked about, I was only looking, I knew we had a double top and it was going to come down, and this was on December 28th. So I'm like, I positioned myself, zero point 0.4 lot, 100K account. It's very small. It's not tiny, but like, we could trade one lot, you could trade three lots. My God, if I traded three lots in this thing, and literally it started going my way, and I would move my stop loss. And then I was like, you know what? I'm like, I kept thinking, I'm going to cash out. I'm just like, I'm going to walk away. I'm just going to leave this trade alone because I think the market is just going to continue to go this way. And if I sit there and I'm watching it, emotionally, I'm going to have trouble. I'm going to start, getting nervous about, oh my God, I'm so far up. And, and that's it. I basically was able to be disciplined enough to just leave it and let the winner go. And I learned that from a book. It's called Best Loser Wins. And the guy, he talks about it. And anybody who's trading, I recommend you read this book. There's another one, How I Lost $1 Million. These books are all about the psychology that is just normal and natural to go through. Like these are, to us, our money is a very emotionally attached thing. So we act, emotionally when it's coming or going.
Yeah, and I've always told people that the negative emotion is something that obviously it's completely normal and we always manage it. Like, okay, I'm pissed because I lost my trade. But then the positive emotion, I always mention that's the most dangerous one, basically because you feel like you're, so powerful. You feel like so perfect because of the way you actually did it. And then when you try to do it next day, it's not going to work. Not because you're not good, just because the market does whatever it wants. And then these positive emotions are the ones that actually make you overtrade after you start losing the first trade. Because obviously if you're negative, like, oh my God, I'm going to lose all my trades, you don't place more trades. But when you feel like, yeah, I did it yesterday, so I can do it again, that's when you start overtrading and you think, And so it's
I
actually
look at
something
my
important
journal
that people should know. Yeah.
I have 14 accounts last week. So the first week of January, I had like 3 bad trades. And that's incredible for a total of almost 15 different trades I took, and that's dangerous, because this week I didn't do so great. And I was trying to replicate that, and you can't. That's the whole thing. All you can do is start to recognize, like today I didn't do so great, so I'm like, you know what, that's it. I might just finish my week now and say, we'll start fresh on Monday again, and we'll take a look at things because, it's a process that you got to go through. And I found take it off. Fridays I honestly find if you're new to this, you want to avoid Fridays altogether. It's especially Friday, the last Friday of the month, I found, oh my God, people are closing all their activity. There's a lot of things that happen on particular days that you got to watch out for. I also keep track of news days. I generally will not trade anywhere near news. I mean, I have, and I've had some amazing results and horrible results. Like, what it is. It's coin flip time, right?
Again, the positive emotion.
So, you can't open a trade in the news because they'll kill you. So I'm a half an hour before, I've got a buy going and you're hoping, the market's going to go your way, but you got to watch it. That candle can do incredible things. So, I tell, I have that, forget news, don't trade news, avoid, Fridays at the end of the month, things like that. It doesn't mean I won't trade. If I still see something and I think I can make something of it, I'll take a shot at it, but I'll be much more conservative. So maybe I'm trading 0.25, a very small, and I'm only going to do, even on a big move, I'm going to make, $300.
And I do think also it depends on obviously the strategy, because this is like the first year I've actually traded within Christmas and New Year's, like last year. I never did it.
I turned it off.
I never did it. But this was the best 2 weeks for the last 6 months for me. But it's because of the strategy. It doesn't mean it's always going to happen. And then this last week was not good at all. So In the end, I do believe that obviously everybody is going to trade with a different strategy, with a different analysis or whatever. I trade with volatility. I mean, that's like the key point of my strategy. That's the reason why I'm a scalper, right? But what you say about Fridays is what I've been telling people since 2016. Like, don't trade Friday. Don't trade on Friday. Take the day off. It's okay to trade on Friday. And people are like on Fridays, like, are you not going to trade? Are you not going to trade? Nowadays, I do trade, but because I like volatility, and Fridays are usually a pretty good day for me. But then people are like obsessed about, because it's a trading day, I should trade. You know?
Yeah. But you're a pro, but you'll look, like you're accustomed to what Fridays could bring to you. Like if you've been there and you've been in the trenches, like you are, it's a little different.
Yeah.
But most of us aren't. Like I still consider myself I would not say I'm a professional at all. Like I have good results and I'm doing well, but I'm still honing my edge. Still, and that's why I used to look at all pairs. I'm like, no. That's the wrong way to do it. Like, gold seems to be good for me. I seem to be doing better at that. And JPY has been good for me. Sometimes pound or euro. I'll look at those ones. And I've had, but again, is trying not to trade everything. Is find one thing and find also and like what you're doing. You mentioned you start your day and you have a system that goes in place long before you hit that first trade button. Yeah. You've got yourself mentally ready. You've looked at the markets. You've taken in the news of the day. You've looked at where it's been. There's a lot of things. Preparation is key. You can't just turn on the terminal and hit a buy or sell button, because if you do that, you have no plan at all, and you'll get lucky maybe, or you'll get very unlucky. And we want to try to take luck as much as we can out of the equation and really hone ourselves.
True. Now, I want to jump into Ola Prime, pretty much.
Yeah. Sure.
Like this next half of the interview, I want to talk about Ola Prime, because that's the company that you've been using. And the first question is, how has been your experience with Ola Prime? Like overall, how do you feel about it? What can you tell us?
They're great. Like honestly, I know I've gotten to know some of their people. I talked to Sammy, who's active on the stream, who's been trading. He's hilarious. We had a really good interview where we were swapping some stories. Hi, Sammy, for watching this. And they're just like, honestly, they are reputable. They've, like their customer support is best in class, I find. And and they're ready to sort of, they want to help you and they want to provide tools and they want to give you, like I find, they're a trustworthy partner. I wish they'd give me a free account for what I'm doing right now by promoting them, but they won't even do that. So they're not perfect.
Let me see if I can get you something,
Come on. So I'm not, this is not a paid promotion. I just want to put that out there.
In the past, I used to work with, I don't care about saying the names. It's my channel.
Go for it.
FDMO. I hated them so much. Like they literally showed me how interested they were on just like the challenge fees. I also worked with EA Trading, which was a decent company. I really liked it. Yep. But then their challenges is starting to become slightly harder, the slippage and so on. And then I worked with this company. What was the other name of the company? The owner actually had a heart attack, unfortunately. So they closed their operations.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was funded something. I don't know. I don't remember the name, but there are videos in regards to it. And because the CEO had a heart attack, they decided to close their operations. And I lost like $500,000 worth of funded accounts. And then I met Ola Prime. And look, like honestly, you notice when a company is just looking forward to get the fees and when a company is looking forward to get funded traders. There's a huge difference when they're actually like when they see you're good and they're like interested on working with you. Then just like, I don't know, FDMO, I feel like there was someone behind the computer saying, hopefully this guy messes up and then he loses the account. And honestly, like I said, I've been working and I've been actually had 3 accounts with Ola Prime right now. since November 20, what was this, 2025? November 2024, when I
Wow,
got
you've kept it
introduced
going
into
for that
this
long?
long time ago.
What?
And I mean, what can I say? Like I said, I don't look for anything like too serious in a company. I look for a company that pays off, and I look for a company that is serious about what they're promising. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care about anything else. But like you said, support is world class. Like FTMO
Yeah.
had no support. I talk about FTMO because that's like the biggest company that it's like out there that a lot of people talks about. But honestly, no.
No, I feel Hola is invested in our success. They've got their Discord community is really good. They've got a lot of trading. Again, their live stream is great. I've dealt with how many firms I dealt with. I think about
Oh, first class
four,
funds. I
five.
also lost an account with them.
I think I'm up to 8 different firms I've worked with, and yeah, and some of them I didn't really get a warm fuzzy feeling from them. They were really questioning my trades, whether I didn't have they seemed to be more scrutinizing. They didn't want to do the payouts, or they would always find some reason, or there's delays, and it's like this is not really. And you got to watch that. That's why it's good to talk to people who are doing this because they can help you avoid
Yeah, with their experience.
firms. They just want to get people's money and they don't actually do any real trades. It's all paper trade. And it's like, and they're hoping everybody just, bombs out. And, you don't want to find yourself with a company like that.
What would you say is your favorite feature of Ola Prime?
A feature. That's interesting.
Yeah, I got mine.
know.
I just want to hear yours first.
I think honestly, I just like the fact that they have. I just like their community. I really like the people. I like Sammy. Like I said, I've talked to him on stream, and I find especially when they have a sales on stuff, you get some great deals. So that, and I've just all the payouts I've got. It's been Hold has been primary my source, and they've been just great for that. So I'm happy.
So the
Now they've got these on-demand ones. I can't wait to see how that works. So no waiting, but yeah. I think feature is
which
really, to me, it's community.
Which one do you say you can't wait?
Oh, I just bought it. I bought a 100K on demand payout now.
Okay.
They just introduced, which is great. If you guys understand, generally I go for the bi-monthlies. So you've got two periods. And I find, that's the patient part where after you get money in your account, you got to wait and don't trade it. And I didn't do that this morning. I traded my funded account, So anyways, it's a fun, having on demand is crazy because you could literally, if you had a trade and, you could cash out on demand, so you get your revenue a little quicker and that makes a difference. So we'll looking forward to, getting that one up.
Now, my favorite one is actually 1 hour payout. Like I love.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know-
Yeah.
One of the things that got people nervous in this industry overall is when it takes too long for you to get a payout. Like you start panicking, you start looking for on blogs online, trying to see if you were scammed or whatever. And the fact that sometimes with other companies could take 3-5 business days, it's a while.
Longer.
Especially because they always do this, like the other companies, not all. They come back with an email saying, hey, we need this requirement in order to approve the withdrawal. And then another 5 business days. And it's like, you can't really continue trading like peacefully because you don't even know if you're going to get paid the previous trading period and so on. So for me, the 1 hour payouts, I actually made a video about a withdrawal like a year ago. I don't remember. And it was an 18K withdrawal, which is a big withdrawal.
Whoa.
And I like literally recorded like the process and so on. And it took 1 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes to get approved. And then like 40 minutes for it to hit my Binance account. And I showed everything and I was like, okay, I'm good. Because I was firstly testing this company, like in order to see whether I recommended it or not. And it actually worked really good. And that fast payout, I was like, okay, this is the deal. Like, even if I have to reply an email because something went wrong with the withdrawal, with my verification, with my account or whatever, it's not going to take more than a day. It's like going to take a few hours, which is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
What's the fastest that you've actually gotten a withdrawal?
I'd say about, like that was, Hola was my first payout. ever. That was amazing. It was 3,300 or something, maybe. That's a long time ago. But yeah, it didn't take that long after I did all my requirements and everything else. It was amazing. All of a sudden I got the email and boom, you've got it. And it's like it's real.
Crypto withdrawal, right?
Yes. Yeah. 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 So all the firms, I think, all use Rise is what I've encountered. It's one of the systems that they use, but yeah, no, I've seen a lot of people who had big payouts and the firms just straight up denied them.
Yeah, it's just like I said, you can tell when the company is like interested in keeping you.
Yeah.
And look, the fast withdrawals, even if you get it in 5 days, it's fine. I'm not saying just because you got it within an hour. No, but it actually shows you can trust. Like you can withdraw today, receive the money, and continue trading tomorrow. Well,
Yeah.
with other companies, you probably are like still waiting for the deposits. So you're like, I don't even know if I should continue trading and so on. So big
Yeah,
thumbs
no,
up, honestly.
you
Yeah.
want a smooth payout process or it leaves a bad taste because you've worked so hard to get there. Like it's work. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot of work. And then, and it's like, imagine if you were at a job and at the end of it's like it's payday and they're like, well, we need a little bit of time and this, and you'd be like, I got bills. I got what's going on here. Like you'd be going nuts. So
And Jude, look, like in this YouTube channel, I've probably had, this is the first interview that I do in this YouTube channel, over 200,000 subscribers, and never did any interview whatsoever. The only thing I did was like live webinars and maybe allowed someone to ask a question, like raise a hand, whatever thing right here in Zoom. So this is like the first time someone from outside the channel is actually gonna say something like in the channel. Why would you recommend Ola Prime to the people who are watching this? We're gonna say, okay, it's not Chris, because I'm not paying you. I'm like, I don't need to prove that, but I'm not paying you or anybody. But why would you recommend Ola Prime? Like to
I would
people who are
recommend Ola
watching?
Prime honestly because they're good people. They are really good people. Like they want you to be successful. They're there for your success. And they're definitely a company that has just given me. You got 209,000 subscribers, by the way, and now you've got one more. Boom.
Thank you.
So I just found with Hola really like it's a smooth execution. It's a great customer service, and they just they're there to help you to be successful. Like I think and those are if you go on their Discord, like you could see what it's very good. There's a ton of stuff to be learned there. They're always running promotions and things like that, so they're very actively engaged. A lot of firms, it's just like cold. They just have a screen and they buy a channel. You never hear about the guys. You never know really anything
Yeah.
about them. But Hola, you kind of you can actually get to know the people in there. They all know me, so that's why they asked me to do this. But it's good. Like honestly, I've been in the customer service business, IT projects and things like that. And to me, that's the most important thing is really how you treat your customers and how the engagement. Because honestly, that's all a business really is how well it treats its customers.
Yeah.
Anything short of that doesn't matter how good it is. And Hola's never really given me a bad taste or made me doubt. I've had breaches that I had one this week, and I wasn't happy about it, but we talked about it and I could see the error, what happened, and that's fine. They're not, again, they want me to be successful, and I think they feel that way for all of their customers.
Perfect. Thank you. And actually, recently, Ola Prime came up with their new broker directly called Ola Prime Markets. Really excited actually to share with people in the community. I know when it comes to prompt firms, like Ola Prime does not have a competition, like at least in my opinion. But when it comes to brokers, there are pretty good established brokers out there. IC Markets, Forex.com, whatever,
Yep.
depending on where you're located, what brokers you can use. But the fact that All Prime has actually launched their own broker, it tells me already I can trust the broker because there's a company behind it that has already proven that it's a good company. And so
Yeah.
just wanted to, let people in the comments know that they do have a broker I actually made a video about it before. There's going to be links in the description to everything that I mentioned here in this video. There's going to be links in the description. And I want to thank you for being here. It's a 47-minute call pretty much. And I really had a good
Supposed to be
time.
20.
Like I said, it's the first time, and honestly, it's just like an open door to have more interviews on my channel, because it's actually way more interesting to probably hear somebody else, not just me every single day saying similar things in all my videos. So I just wanted to say thank you. And what would you like to say to the audience now? Just to say goodbye message.
Listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about. Chris is, he's going to be your guide, because honestly, he's been where there was a day when he did his first trade, and he's come a long way. And that's why I really appreciate what you do. And I appreciate, good customer support, good companies to work with, and also people like yourself that help. It's a journey that we're on. There's, and this is any help, advice, it can make a huge difference to people, like this is it can be a fun experience. It can be a frustrating experience, but to have the right people, it makes all the difference to make it worthwhile.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And just remember, people, and also Jude, if you were not aware, the BLW Trading Academy is 100% free. Okay. So it's a Forex trading course, like entirely. I think if website says like $29, I'm just going to remove that immediately, because it's 100% free. And the reason why I give it away for free is because I always mention this. The content that you're going to find in the academy is also free online. It's not like I have something there that I'm not telling anyone and that you're going to find is going to change your life. No, it's the exact same thing. So if you can find it for free somewhere else, there's no reason why I should charge you for it. And so that's the reason why it's free. But the good thing is that you're going to have everything inside of it combined. And instead of you going through 20 different websites, you're probably going to find at least all the basics in that training, like, I don't know, strategies, what are pips, what is leverage, how to choose a lot size, and all those stuff for beginners. And then for more advanced content, then definitely the YouTube channel is the most updated place to find strategies and so on. But I just want to say thank you to Jude and to everybody else who were watching. And hopefully we can have a different meeting in the future. I don't know, talk about stuff that people can leave questions in the comments, and they're like interested on something else that you might not have shared today. Let's say your strategy, for instance, or something. And then maybe in the future we can have a new call.
I would love that. It'd be great, and I look forward to watching all your content. So this is going to be fun.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you for all the likes and subscribes on this YouTube channel as well.